Hey, what's up guys? So we are doing a refrigerant leak repair today. Replaced the system about a year ago, but basically what happened is the client had a lawn person come out and actually nick their line. So I've already got part of the repair and prep ready. I'll show the pictures here in a minute, or actually I'll show the pictures here. Yeah, that's what it looks like. And here is the what we're going to be doing. So I removed that portion of the copper. We'll be putting in a filter dryer in there, but here's where basically he took it out there. So what I have done is I removed all of the trader cores, removed everything in there. I've got sure leak, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap this and get started. So we'll see how she's working after. Okay, so the actual repair has been done in regards to the leak. So the filter dryer has been installed, checked all the way around. There's no leaks in it here, as you can see. So the next step in the process is I'm going to go ahead and fill it up with nitrogen. I'm going to go about 175 pounds of pressure just to leak test it. I'm going to do that for about 30 minutes just to make sure that there's no leaks, and then we're going to go ahead and pull a vacuum. Alrighty, so we have got everything set up here. So went ahead and got the nitrogen up to 204 pounds of pressure. It is currently holding. I did check my leaks with, my wells with bubbles. There are no leaks on them. So pretty strong wells in here. Did use the new Calgon Blue. I'm gonna go one more check. So it's been under pressure for right at about 15 minutes now. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes just to let it, just to make sure nothing else is going, but we've been sitting strong at 204, hasn't moved. I'm going to go ahead and use this time, this remaining about 10-15 minutes, to go ahead and clean up here. And then I am also going to hook up the vacuum pump. So what's about to happen is, once I'm certain my welds hold for about that 30 minutes, I will release all of the nitrogen. I will hook up the vacuum pump, and then I will pull it into a vacuum. That roughly will take about 20 to 45 minutes, depending on how quick the vacuum will pull. We'll actually monitor that with a micron gauge here through my gauges. So stand by for the next section. All right, guys, we have the vacuum completed now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go ahead and hook up the refrigerant. So I did pull down. It is reading 700. It did pull down to about 450. That is natural for it to do. So what'll happen is, you'll pull down the vacuum, it'll go down. When you close everything up, it'll naturally rise. It's common, it happens on every system. I've been doing this quite a while on that. So I do have 2 refrigerant jugs. One of them is partially empty, or almost empty, so I'm going to finish that one off. We're going to get the refrigerant back in the system. One other thing we're going to do is we're going to add AC renew to it. So this system is a heat pump, and it was the liquid line that was cut. So what we're going to go ahead and do is put a synthetic lubricant in it to make sure that the internals, it does have 2 thermal expansion valves in there. So one is in here, it's hard to see in there, and then one is on the inside as well. So I'm going to go ahead and gas her up, get the oil in there, and then we'll test charge. Alrighty, so we have now, we put in about 6 pounds. That original jug had about 1 pound in it. So I always let it naturally just suck the gas in because I didn't put it in the vacuum. So it'll suck the gas in now. We are shy about 3 pounds, but this is enough to run the system and actually get the charges right. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna hook up the AC Renew, go through that process right quick, and then start up the system. So I'm gonna set you here. So one of the things with AC Renew, you always wanna make sure you put it on the section side. So it's got a valve on here. I'm gonna make sure that valve is closed. I'm going to disconnect my liquid line. I'm going to hook it up right in there. So the line is closed. What I've got to do is remove the top in here. And then in order to purge my line, I want to do this before I have any oil in there, is I'm going to go ahead and just get a quick squirt. That will purge the line to make sure that there's refrigerant in there and no air inside of the system. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. It does go all the way to the rim on here. So as I pour it in, right in there. It does go all the way down to the lip. So what will happen is this rubber seal will sit right at the lip where the refrigerant goes, and you'll have no air in there. It actually releases it all. So it'll go all the way to the last second in here. I'm gonna go ahead and hook this up. My line's already been purged because it sucked refrigerant in there, so there's no air in any of the lines because it has been purged. I'll open it up, see it's not taking any anymore. We do need to run the system, so let's see if we got it on. Yeah, so the system we do have operating now. So what I'm gonna do is still hooked up to the refrigerant, so I can still add refrigerant, and I'm gonna push the refrigerant, the oil in. So I'm gonna set up here on there, and then I'm just gonna watch my pressures, let them stabilize here. As it runs, as you can see, the oil hasn't pushed through completely yet. So as I open that, it will begin to drop. So I'm gonna go ahead and monitor it here, and then you can see we are still low. So I've got to add probably another 3 pounds of refrigerant in there to get it up and going properly. Alrighty guys, we are just about done. So I do have my Bluetooth sensors inside, so we can tell the house is currently at 72 degrees intake air, and it is blowing out 51. So we do have a perfect 20-degree split, so that tells me that the temperature difference is spot on. The refrigerant charge did end up taking right at 10 pounds, which it is a 9.9 pound system. We did take into account the line set and the coil. Everything's worked out fine. We did charge it by subcool. It does have a TXV internally. So some of the things we look at, it may be hard to see out here. The sun did pop out. So right in there. So because we do have a TXV, I do want to look at the subcool there. So we do have a perfect subcool as per what the specifications call for. Pressures are looking okay for the temperatures that we have outside. This is the actual nick, as you can see there. And then here's the actual repair, so that was sitting in there. So I would call this particular repair a win today. This is good to go. So please, if you like the video, like and subscribe. We'll have more coming down the line.